is Winn Fields. I teach economics here at JMU. Teach principles of macroeconomics, intermediate macroeconomic theory, and monetary theory. When I was a sophomore in college, I remember looking around at my professors and what they were doing, and I remember thinking, this looks like a pretty good gig. And I thought maybe this is something I would like to do, and I knew that I loved economics. So I thought, well, that's a pretty good combination, and I've never looked back. It's all I ever wanted to do. But it seems to me that when I go into class, it's just me. I mean, my personality doesn't change, and I have this feeling that I'm just talking to my students. A little bit of a one-sided conversation, but that's kind of the way I feel. That I'm just standing up there and we're just sitting at the dinner table talking. I think JMU is a good balance that I like between teaching and research. One of the reasons that I wanted to come here is getting to know them. I think I enjoy having students in my office and being able to guide them in small ways, you know, asking them what they want to do with their lives and try to get a feel for that and help them make decisions. You know, the stuff I do outside of classroom. Classroom's fun, but I enjoy meeting with them outside of classroom. It's gotten bigger, obviously, and I think less personal, it's more impersonal. I don't like that aspect of it. The students have changed. The students they want to be entertained more, I think. The debt is the total amount that the government owes, whereas the deficit is the amount that they add to that every year. So if the government let's say the government has a $17 trillion debt, which is roughly what they have right now, and then they run a $1 trillion deficit, then their debt rises to $18 trillion. So basically it's just the debt or the deficit is the addition to the debt. The debt is increasing faster than GDP. And you should think of GDP as our income that we have available to pay the debt or to pay the interest on the debt. And if the debt is increasing faster than GDP, here's what the consequence will be over the long haul. Eventually, the interest payments on the debt, the interest payments, not the debt itself, but the interest payments on the debt will exceed GDP. And it will take all of our income every year just to pay the interest. It's analogous to a household that has a mortgage. Let's say they have a $200,000 income. They have a mortgage that is so big that it takes all of the interest every year just to pay, all of their income every year just to pay the interest on the mortgage. And so they have nothing left for anything else. That's the situation that we'll be in if we keep going along the current path. And that's to stop running budget deficits. And there are two ways to do that. One is to raise revenues, presumably by raising taxes. And the other would be to cut spending, not spend as much. My personal preference would be to cut spending, but not everybody agrees with that. But one or the other would be necessary. Because if you stop adding to the debt, then the debt stops growing. And over time, we'll be able to handle it because GDP will keep increasing. But we have to stop adding to the debt. That's the primary thing. And if we don't, we're going to put ourselves in a position where we're either going to have to default on the debt, or we're going to have to monetize it all, which essentially means that we'll create money and buy it all back, which will create a huge increase in the price level. I plan to end my career as a rock musician. That's what I plan to do. I have a nice Fender Stratocaster and a Martin acoustic, and I'm planning to end my career as a rock musician.